chosen one. Even God was shocked by what you did alone. Listen closely, because what I am about to reveal carries a weight that many hearts would overlook if they turned away too soon. The moment you endured, what you endured alone, was not hidden from heaven, and it was not small in my sight. What you did in silence, when no one stood beside you, stirred something so powerful that even the angels paused in wonder. You must not scroll away from these words, because within this truth lies a blessing that was already set in motion for your life. Before you continue, write Amen in the comments to declare that your heart is open to what heaven is revealing right now. Even God was shocked by what you did alone does not mean I was unaware of your struggle. I saw every tear you hid, every moment when you stood with no human support, and every quiet decision you made to keep walking when your strength felt thin. The shock was not ignorance, but awe. It was the astonishment of watching a heart remain faithful when everything around it seemed determined to break it. You faced nights where silence felt heavy, yet you refused to abandon the path placed before you. Many people crumble when they feel abandoned, yet you stood firm when the world became quiet around you. That strength did not grow from comfort or applause. It grew in the lonely spaces where faith had to breathe without recognition. You carried burdens that were never meant to destroy you, but were meant to reveal something inside you that even you had not yet fully seen. There were moments when you thought your endurance meant nothing to anyone. You believed your persistence was invisible, but heaven does not overlook the quiet victories that happen in the shadows. When you chose patience instead of bitterness, when you chose faith instead of despair, those choices echoed louder than any shout. This is why you must continue listening carefully. The reason this moment matters is because what you did alone activated a response that had already begun forming in the unseen. You did not simply survive something difficult. You proved something powerful about the strength that lives inside you. Take a moment now and comment 1010 to show that you believe what heaven is revealing over your life. Your struggle was not wasted time. Every tear carried meaning, every sleepless night carried purpose, and every step you took in weakness became part of a story that heaven carefully recorded. When people left, when doors closed, when you felt misunderstood or forgotten, you still kept moving forward. That is what shook the silence of heaven. There are many who claim faith when life is easy, but very few who remain steady when storms arrive without warning. You stood in the storm longer than you expected. At times it seemed like no one was coming to help you, yet even then you did not surrender your spirit to darkness. Understand this deeply. The strength you showed was not ordinary endurance. It was evidence that something greater had been planted inside you long before the trial began. What you believed was your breaking point became the very place where your true character revealed itself. You thought you were simply trying to survive another difficult day, but what heaven saw was someone refusing to abandon hope when everything felt uncertain. That quiet decision changed more than you realize. This is why these words matter so much. What you did alone created movement in places you could not see. While you were fighting silent battles, doors began preparing to open in ways you could not yet imagine. Before you continue further, take a brief moment and gently tap the like button if these words are touching your heart. Because this simple action helps this truth reach another soul who may be standing alone the way you once did. There is something else you must understand. Your loneliness did not mean you were abandoned. It meant you were walking through a chapter that required the strength of your own spirit to grow. If others had carried you through that season, the transformation inside you would never have taken root. The courage you showed when no one else stood beside you became a testimony that even the unseen world recognized. The angels who watch over your path witnessed a faith that refused to collapse. They saw a person who kept going even when encouragement was absent. You may still wonder why that season lasted as long as it did. The answer is not punishment, the answer is preparation. The pressure you felt was shaping a resilience that will soon become necessary for the blessings ahead. What you did alone proved that you are not defined by the opinions of others. You are not sustained by applause. You are sustained by the quiet strength that flows from the connection between your heart and heaven. That connection never broke, even when you felt distant. It remained steady, quietly supporting you while you walked through days that felt heavier than you expected. You carried more than your share of burdens. Yet instead of allowing those burdens to harden your heart, you continued moving forward with humility and faith. That choice is what caused heaven to pause in astonishment. Because the truth is simple. Many people talk about trust, but only a few demonstrate it when everything seems uncertain. Your perseverance spoke louder than words. Soon, you will begin to notice shifts around you. Opportunities will appear that once felt impossible. Peace will enter places that once felt chaotic. None of this will be random. It will be the natural result of the strength you showed during the time when no one was watching. You may not feel extraordinary right now. You may still feel tired from everything you carried alone. But heaven sees the deeper truth about you. You are stronger than you realized. You are braver than you believed. And what you did in the quiet moments of endurance changed more than you know. The chapter ahead will begin revealing why that lonely road was necessary. The blessings that follow will carry the fingerprints of every step you took when your faith was tested. There were nights when the silence felt louder than any storm. You lay awake wondering if your efforts mattered, wondering if anyone truly understood the weight you carried. Yet, even in those moments, something inside you refused to collapse completely. That quiet resilience was not random. It was a spark placed within you long before the struggle arrived. Many people would have chosen bitterness during the moments you faced. Many would have allowed disappointment to close their hearts and darken their outlook. But you chose something different. Even when your spirit felt tired, you still carried a small thread of hope that refused to break. That thread of hope was stronger than you realized. It was the very reason heaven looked upon your situation with amazement. The world may have seen someone struggling alone, but heaven saw someone proving that faith can survive even in the deepest silence. Understand this clearly. What you endured was not meant to destroy your spirit. It was meant to reveal the depth of the strength already placed within you. When others walked away, your character stepped forward. When support disappeared, your inner courage began to speak louder. Comment 777. Those numbers are not magic. They simply represent the declaration that your faith remains alive even after everything you walked through. Your story is not defined by abandonment or struggle. Your story is defined by perseverance that refused to disappear. While you were walking through that season, something very important was taking place behind the scenes. Situations were shifting quietly. Paths were being prepared long before you could see them with your own eyes. Your persistence activated movement in places that had been waiting for the right moment. It may still feel like the journey has been slow. You may still wonder when the full change will arrive, but understand that preparation often happens in silence. The roots of a tree grow deep underground before the branches ever appear above the surface. Your endurance became those roots. Every lonely moment pushed them deeper into the soil of strength and faith. That foundation is the reason the blessings ahead will stand firm when they arrive. If the rewards had appeared too early, they would not have lasted. The growth inside you needed time to form. The courage inside you needed to become steady and unshakable. You may remember the days when doubt tried to whisper into your thoughts. Doubt tried to convince you that you were walking in the wrong direction. Doubt tried to tell you that your effort was meaningless. Yet something inside you resisted those whispers. Even when you felt tired, you did not completely surrender to despair. That quiet resistance mattered more than you realize. Heaven noticed the moment you chose patience instead of anger. Heaven noticed the moment you kept your heart open instead of closing it. Heaven noticed every decision that preserved your spirit during the hardest parts of your journey. These choices were powerful because they were made without an audience. They were made when no one else was clapping, praising, or encouraging you. They were decisions formed entirely within the quiet space between your heart and heaven. This is why the phrase, "Even God was shocked by what you did alone," carries such weight. It speaks of a courage that revealed itself when the world was not watching. That courage continues living inside you today. It did not disappear when the difficult season passed. It became a permanent part of who you are. Soon you will begin noticing small changes around you. Some of these changes will appear subtle at first. A new opportunity will appear where you once saw a closed door. A sense of peace will begin replacing the tension that once lived inside your thoughts. These changes will not arrive by accident. They are the natural unfolding of the path that began forming during your time of endurance. There is something else that must be understood clearly. The strength you discovered while standing alone will now become a guiding light for others. People who are still walking through their own silent battles will eventually see the calm confidence in your spirit. They may never know every detail of what you endured. They may never fully understand how many nights you spent carrying the weight of uncertainty, but they will feel the quiet strength that now surrounds you. That strength will inspire them even when you are not trying to inspire anyone. It will simply exist as a presence that speaks without needing many words. Comment 333. Let that declaration remind you that your faith did not disappear during the storm. It remained alive, quietly breathing beneath every challenge you faced. Your path moving forward will not always be easy, but it will be different. The loneliness that once defined your struggle will no longer hold the same power over you. The lessons you learned have already strengthened your spirit in ways that cannot be undone. When the next challenge arrives, you will face it with a deeper understanding of your own resilience. You will remember the days when you survived things that once seemed impossible. You will remember that even when the world became quiet, you still found the courage to continue. This memory will become a shield that protects your peace. It will remind you that your strength is not dependent on the presence of others. It is rooted in something far deeper. And as this new chapter continues unfolding, you will slowly begin to see the purpose behind every difficult moment that once confused you. What once looked like abandonment was actually preparation. What once looked like delay was actually protection. What once looked like silence was actually the quiet shaping of a heart strong enough to carry the blessings that are now approaching your life. There were mornings when you woke up carrying the same weight you carried the day before. Nothing around you seemed to change. The world moved on as if your struggle did not exist, and that silence tested your heart more than any loud storm ever could. Yet you still rose and faced the day again. That choice mattered more than you realized at the time. It was not the loud victories that revealed your strength. It was the quiet decision to continue breathing, believing, and walking forward when your spirit felt tired. Heaven sees those moments with a clarity that human eyes cannot match. Many people only notice the final success in someone's life. They celebrate the visible breakthrough while forgetting the lonely road that came before it. But heaven never forgets the hidden chapters. Every unseen sacrifice carries a meaning that will eventually reveal itself. When you stood alone and refused to give up, you were writing a chapter that could not be erased. That chapter became a foundation for everything that is about to unfold in your life. You may not yet see the full picture, but the ground beneath you has already shifted. Take a moment now and comment 5, 5, 5. Let that declaration remind you that your faith did not disappear when the pressure increased. Instead, it quietly matured, becoming steadier and deeper with every step you took through uncertainty. During the time you felt alone, there were moments when confusion tried to take hold of your thoughts. You wondered why certain people left. You wondered why doors closed when you hoped they would remain open. Those questions passed through your mind again and again, but the answers were not meant to arrive immediately. Some answers require time before they can be understood clearly. The distance between you and those difficult moments is now beginning to reveal the purpose behind them. If certain people had remained beside you, they would have carried you through that season. If certain doors had stayed open, you might never have discovered the strength that was quietly growing inside your spirit. The loneliness that once felt painful became the space where your character deepened. This is why what you did alone carried such significance. When support disappeared, your inner faith stepped forward. When the noise of the world faded, the quiet connection between your heart and heaven became stronger. The world often believes strength is loud and visible, but the strength you discovered was quiet and steady. It did not need applause to exist. It did not depend on recognition. You may remember the moment when you nearly believed you could not continue. Your energy felt drained, and your heart carried the weight of too many disappointments. Yet something inside you whispered that you should take one more step. That whisper was not weakness. It was the quiet strength that had been growing within you all along. Each step you took during that difficult season added another layer to the resilience that now lives inside your spirit. Those layers cannot be removed. They have become part of who you are. Soon you will notice that situations which once overwhelmed you no longer hold the same power. Challenges that once seemed impossible will begin to look smaller. Your perspective has changed because your spirit has grown stronger. This transformation did not happen overnight. It formed slowly during the days when you thought nothing meaningful was taking place. Heaven was watching carefully during those moments. Your patience, your restraint, and your willingness to continue trusting, even when answers were missing, all carried deep significance. Comment 1212. Let that simple declaration remind you that trust continues to live inside your heart even after everything you have faced. The road ahead will begin revealing blessings that were quietly forming during your time of endurance. These blessings may arrive in ways you do not expect. Some will appear as opportunities that once seemed impossible. Others will appear as peace entering areas of your life that once felt chaotic. You will begin to notice a calm confidence growing inside you. That confidence does not come from pride. It comes from the knowledge that you have already survived things that once seemed too heavy to carry. The person you were before that lonely season is not the same person you are now. You have seen what your spirit is capable of when circumstances become difficult. You have discovered a depth of resilience that cannot easily be shaken. This change will influence every step you take moving forward. Decisions that once felt overwhelming will now feel clearer. The fear that once clouded your thoughts will begin to lose its grip. You are not walking the same path you once walked. Something inside you has shifted permanently. Even the way you view yourself is beginning to change. Where you once saw weakness, you now begin to see quiet strength. Where you once saw uncertainty, you now begin to see endurance. The reason heaven reacted with amazement to what you did alone is because very few people continue trusting when everything around them becomes uncertain. Many people collapse when the support they depended on disappears. But you did not collapse completely. You bent under the weight, but you did not break. That distinction matters more than you know. The resilience you demonstrated will soon become the foundation for a new chapter that is beginning to unfold around your life. Doors that once seemed locked will begin opening in ways you could not predict. New connections will appear, bringing encouragement and understanding that once felt absent. Opportunities will arise that align with the strength you have developed. When these moments arrive, you may feel surprised. You may even wonder why the change feels sudden. But the truth is that the preparation has been happening quietly for a long time. The seeds planted during your lonely season are now beginning to grow. The courage you showed when no one else stood beside you will soon become the reason your future stands stronger than you ever expected. As the truth continues unfolding in your life, you must understand something that many people never realize until much later. The moment you stood alone and refused to collapse changed the direction of your path in ways that were invisible at the time. What felt like an ordinary act of endurance was actually a moment where your spirit proved its strength in front of heaven. The quiet courage you carried became a signal that you were ready for something greater than what you had known before. That is why what you did alone carried such weight in the unseen world. There were moments when the pressure around you felt overwhelming. You looked around and noticed the absence of people who once said they would remain beside you. The silence left questions in your heart that seemed impossible to answer. Yet even in those moments, you did not completely surrender to the heaviness that tried to surround you. Instead, you continued moving forward with whatever strength remained in your spirit. Some days, that strength felt small, almost fragile, but it was still enough to keep you standing. That quiet determination mattered more than any loud display of confidence. It showed that your faith was not built on convenience, but on something deeper. Many people believe strength means never feeling tired or uncertain, but the strength you showed was far more real than that. You felt the weight of everything around you, yet you still kept walking. That kind of perseverance reveals the true depth of a person's heart. When heaven witnessed you standing in that lonely place without surrendering to despair, it recognized something extraordinary within you. Your endurance proved that your spirit was stronger than the circumstances trying to surround it. This is why the phrase, "Even God was shocked by what you did alone," carries such meaning. It speaks of the quiet moment when your faith became stronger than the storm around you. Comment 999. Let that declaration stand as a reminder that the strength within you did not disappear during your hardest days. It remained alive, quietly guiding you through every difficult moment. As time moves forward, you will begin noticing how those difficult experiences shaped your perspective. Situations that once caused fear will no longer carry the same power over your heart. The challenges that once felt impossible will begin to appear smaller when compared to what you have already overcome. This transformation is not accidental. It is the result of the endurance you practiced during the season when you felt alone. Each difficult moment refined your spirit, making it stronger and more prepared for the future ahead. There is something important you must realize about the journey you walked through. The loneliness you experienced was not meant to break you. It was meant to create space for a deeper connection between your heart and heaven. When everything else became quiet, that connection grew stronger. You may not have noticed it at the time, but every moment of perseverance strengthened that bond. The more you relied on faith instead of external support, the more deeply rooted your spirit became. This is why the next chapter of your life will feel different. You will no longer depend on the approval of others to feel secure in your path. The strength inside you will guide your decisions with clarity and calm confidence. Soon you will notice opportunities appearing that once seemed unreachable. These moments will not arrive because of luck or coincidence. They will appear because the person you have become is now ready to walk through them. The courage you discovered during your lonely season prepared you for this shift. Without that preparation, the blessings ahead might have overwhelmed you, but now your spirit carries the stability needed to hold them. There will also be moments when people begin to notice something different about you. They may not understand exactly what has changed, but they will feel the quiet strength that surrounds your presence. The calm confidence you carry will speak without needing many words. Comment 1111. Let that declaration stand as a symbol of the faith that continues guiding your steps forward. As these changes begin unfolding around your life, remember the journey that brought you here. Remember the nights when doubt tried to convince you to give up. Remember the days when you felt invisible and wondered if your effort mattered. Those memories will remind you of the strength that already lives within your heart. They will remind you that you have survived storms that once seemed impossible. The future ahead will bring new opportunities and new responsibilities. But the resilience you gained during your difficult season will guide you through every step. You are not the same person you were before that lonely chapter began. Something inside you has grown stronger, steadier, and more confident. The fears that once held you back are slowly losing their influence. Your spirit has learned that strength does not depend on perfect circumstances. It grows through perseverance, patience, and quiet faith. As this new chapter continues unfolding, you will begin to see the deeper purpose behind everything you endured. What once looked like abandonment will reveal itself as preparation. What once looked like delay will reveal itself as protection. The endurance you showed when no one stood beside you became the foundation for the path now opening before you. Keep moving forward with the same quiet faith that carried you through the hardest days. The strength you discovered while standing alone will continue guiding you toward the blessings that are beginning to appear on your horizon. As this journey continues unfolding before you, something important is becoming clearer with every passing moment. The season where you stood alone was never meant to be remembered only as a time of struggle. It was a turning point where your spirit proved that it could stand firm even when the world around you became uncertain. The strength you carried during those silent days is now becoming the very reason new doors are beginning to appear around your life. What once looked like a lonely road is now revealing itself as the path that prepared you for what is ahead. During that season, there were days when you felt as though nothing was changing. The same worries returned each morning, and the same questions followed you into the night. It seemed as if the world continued moving forward while you remained in a place of waiting. But even in that waiting, something meaningful was taking shape inside your heart. Your patience was not wasted time. Your quiet perseverance was not invisible. Every moment when you chose to keep believing instead of giving up became a powerful act of faith. Heaven saw every step you took through uncertainty, and none of those steps were ignored. You may remember moments when your thoughts felt heavy with doubt. You wondered if your effort truly mattered. You wondered if anyone recognized how much strength it took for you to continue moving forward. Yet something inside you refused to surrender completely. Even when your energy felt low, you still found the courage to take another step. That courage is what caused heaven to take notice of the quiet strength growing within you. Take a moment now and comment 1717. Let that simple declaration stand as a sign that your faith is still alive, still steady, and still guiding your path forward. The strength you discovered during your time of solitude did not disappear when that season began to fade. It remained inside you, becoming a permanent part of who you are. The resilience you developed has now become a shield that protects your spirit from the storms that may appear ahead. There will always be challenges in life. No path is completely free from difficulty. But the difference now is that you have already proven to yourself that you can survive moments that once seemed impossible. You have learned how to remain steady when the world becomes quiet. You have learned how to continue walking even when encouragement is absent. These lessons have created a foundation that will support you through every chapter still waiting to unfold. Soon you will begin noticing subtle shifts around you. Situations that once seemed stuck will start moving in new directions. Conversations that once felt distant will begin opening new possibilities. Doors that once appeared closed will begin revealing small openings. These changes will not arrive all at once. They will appear gradually, like the first light of morning slowly spreading across the horizon. But each small shift will carry a reminder that your season of endurance was preparing the way for something better. When these moments arrive, remember the strength that carried you through your lonely days. Remember the courage that allowed you to keep going even when your spirit felt tired. That same courage will guide you through the opportunities now beginning to form around you. Comment 1919. Let that declaration remind you that your trust has not disappeared. It has grown stronger through every challenge you faced. There will also be moments when people begin to enter your life in ways that feel different from before. These connections will carry understanding and encouragement that once seemed missing. The relationships forming in this new chapter will reflect the person you have become. The struggles you faced helped shape your character in ways that cannot be undone. Your patience has deepened. Your compassion has grown stronger. Your ability to remain calm during uncertainty has become a quiet strength that others will notice. People may not know the full story behind your journey. They may never understand how many silent battles you fought within your own heart, but they will feel the calm presence that now surrounds you. That calm presence is the result of everything you endured. It is the reflection of a spirit that refused to collapse when life became difficult.